Let me project the text. I prepared separate text. Usually I prepare them for easier reading and split the words for you that you see them and so on. So today we take hymn 8, which is of book 2, next hymn, which is a very short one, only 6 verses here, 5 Gayatris and 1 Anushtup. It is by Gritsamada himself, yes. So before it was Somahuti, now it's Gritsamada, the father of this clan. So let us start with mantra first, invocation. Om Vang me manasi pratishthitam mano me vachi pratishthitam aviravirmo edhi Vedasyama ani sthaha shrutam me ma prahasihi anena dhitena horatran samdadhami ritam vadishyami satyam vadishyami tanmamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatu mam Avatu Bhaktaram, Avatu Bhaktaram, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. All right. So Vajayan Eva Nurathan Yogan Agner Upastuhi Yashastamasya Mirdhushach. As if to replenish him, chant now the chariots of fire and his yokings, fire, the lavish and glorious Godhead. There is a footnote here, or as one seeking for plenitude instead of replenish. I will go word by word. My interpretation is always kind of helpful because there are 2 different languages. I'm following usually the literal translation with Sri Aurobindo's insights and give you more also for food for thought, as if to aspire to be realized, fulfilled, accomplished. Rush his chariots now. Establish in yourself the yoking reins of Agni, of the most glorious and the most generous one. The most glorious Yashastama, the most generous Milhushach. Yes? So, Vajayan, interesting word. Literally, it's a causative from a rush towards the goal, or get the prize, or how to say, aspire to be realized, to get to the end of the journey, to get the Vaja, to get the plenitude. And we know that the plenitude, as Sri Aurobindo translates it, Vaja, is the plenitude of the spirit and power put together, a substance which is already charged with a spiritual presence. So it's a kind of realized state of being. Plenitude of the spirit means including power and consciousness. So Vajayan, causative, kind of rushing towards this fulfillment or accomplishment of oneself, as if Eva. Now, Nu, Rathan, the chariots, Yogan, and the yokings of Agni, Agnech, Upastui, praise. Literally, stuhi, root stu is to praise, but in this case it could be also, as Sri Aurobindo translates it elsewhere, establishing oneself. Because when we praise, we usually establish the presence of the deity. And that is the praise. Yeah? There is no other praise, only to bring it into one's own system. So establish the deity or the yokings of Agni, Yogan. It's from root yuj, to yoke the horses, actually. And this is the first meaning. And then later, the meaning of the yoga. But much later. It's not in the oldest parts of the Rigveda. In the oldest, it is yoking of the horses. Horses as swiftnesses or powers of the spirit of Agni, which are carrying the rathas or the chariots. And the chariots are also symbolic because they carry us in the chariot. Chariot is something, or carry the Agni or the deity over the spaces which are not transformed. So you can see the whole vision now. So kind of as if to aspire, as if aspiring rather than to aspire, as if aspiring to be fulfilled and accomplish and rushing, maybe I will change his chariot. Now I was making this interpretation yesterday. Establish in yourself the yoking reins of Agni. Interesting. The yoking reins of Agni. There is some control over our nature by Agni, and we have to establish and to hold on to those reins, yeah? Using his mastery over our nature, of the one who is the most glorious and the most generous. Yashas is an interesting word, means glory, fame, and Yashastama is constantly used as an epithet of Agni, the most glorious. And then second verse. Yaksunithach dadashushe ajurio jarayan arim charupratika ahotach. He brings his perfect leading to the man who has given. He is invulnerable and wears out his wounds, and wear out his wounds the fool. Fair is the front of him, fed with the offerings. My interpretation, he leads perfectly Sunithach to the goal, the one who has given himself to him, Dadashushe. Interesting word, Dashuch or Dadashuch. Dadashuch is a perfect participle, which means who has already given oneself to him. To the one who has surrendered himself to Agni, he is the perfect guide. He is inexhaustible, ever young, Ajuriach, who is never old, cannot be worn out. But he wears out the enemy, Jarayan Arim. So everything in us which is of secondary nature, which is to be used as the tools or the means for the development and growth in our journey, everything which plays that role as instrumental to our journey will be worn out. Yeah? So Arim in this case. So will be gone, it will be burnt by Agni. He will wear it out. But himself he is ever young, inexhaustible. He has a beautiful face, charu pratika, or beautiful front, when he is offered the oblation. Ahutach. I'm adding few words. I'm not claiming a literal translation. That's why I write interpretation every time. That you may ask when he is offered. There is no when. Yes, this is simply ahutach. But if you read it as a poetry, you will see it immediately. This when. It's easier to explain in English. And simply, he has beautiful face as the one who is offered the oblation. So it's the same meaning. Or who is invoked, who is called upon. When he is called upon and offered the offering, he has a beautiful front. Or there's a better word for this. Some other word can be used. Pratika. Pratika is that which fronts us, or the face, or the...
Can it be worship? Can it be worship?
Worship, yeah, it's a very general word, worship. Yeah, what do you... Huh?
Pratik is symbol.
Symbol, yeah. Oh, later, yes, in the later language, yes, pratik will be symbol in Hindi. But pratika, pratyanch is from prati, against, turning against, that means fronting. And then, let's read the whole hymn and then we will discuss whatever comes to our mind. Ya ushriya dameshu a doshoshasi prashasyate yasya vratam namiyate. He is voiced in his glory and beauty at dusk and dawn, in our homes, never impaired in the law of his working. He who in his glory is praised in our homes, in light and darkness, and whose power of action is not diminished. Notice that everywhere we have Yah, Yasya. If I look at the whole hymn, that you could see it immediately. If I read the whole hymn, it starts with this: Yah sunitchach ta 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 ta, Yah ushriya dameshu, Yasya vratam namiyate. So there is no saha yet. It's all relative sentences, all of them. Ayach suvarna bhanuna. Yeah? Again. So 1, 2, 3, and then at the end there will be the final one. I think this is the fifth one when we come to it. So we are not answering yet. We are kind of piling up his epithets. So we did Yaushriya dameshu a doshoshasi prashasyate. He who is in glory, who in his glory is praised in our homes, in light and darkness. I'm translating literally as the words go. Yasya vratam namiyate, and whose power of action is not diminished. And continuing, Ayak suvarna bhanona. He shines rich with diverse lusters, like the heavens of the sun. In his illumining splendor shines wide with his ray, putting forth on us a revealing light with his ageless fires. There is a footnote: instead of the sun, like the sun. My interpretation: he who by his light shines like the sun world, Swarna. Swar is the world of the sun, the world of the ray of the sun. I'm following Sri Aurobindo here.
Vladimir, I think we missed 2.8.3.
What did we? Oh yeah, so sorry, I jumped. Yeah, I just read through because it's Yah, 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 so I thought it is already clear. He who is in... No, we didn't miss. We did read. And whose power in action is not diminished, and it continues. And he shines like the Swar world. Conscious. I'm translating Chitrach as conscious. Interesting. Deviate here from Sri Aurobindo. Usually Chitra is with varied light. Yes, and it is staying like this in the in the classical Sanskrit. But it is, interestingly enough, from root chit, from chi root originally. And the chi root is concentrating consciousness, chinoti chinute, from here chit consciousness, from here chetati, chintayati, all these words. And it has something to do with concentrating consciousness, focusing it, from which consciousness is derived. So it can focus itself on any detail or any aspect of the being and highlight it or bring it to life. And that's how consciousness creates. So Chitra is charged with the light of consciousness. So that's why I write conscious. Vibhati shines vast in all the details, pervades all with his ray. That's how I translate. Archisha. Archis is ray, flame, light. He shines wide, pervading all the space. Anjanach ajarayara bihi, clarifying our vision. Anjana is from this, we have this word anjana, like drops for the eyes, yes? He illumines, or we put also the moistening with the, applying the oil. And he Shubend also translates in this way, clarifying our vision with undying flames. So you can see how many words are connected to the light. Svar is light. Bhanu is light. Chitra is light. Vibhati is light. Archis is light. Anjana, clarifying the vision. So you can see so light of different kind. Rishi chooses very consciously these words. They all have a very special power or meaning. And so Suvarna, like the luminous overmind. Svara is the triple overmind, that Svar world, the ray of the sun. Bhanuna. Bhanu, from root bha, to shine, but shine as appearing in being, revealing oneself. The first meaning, and then you can see many other meanings. So as if the overmental realm, by his revealing force, he conscious pervades all with his appearance, vibhati, archisha, and ray, clarifying anjanach, our vision, making us see better, purifying our vision, ajaraich, with his undying, it's not even said flames, simply with his undying, and it is understood as Shubendra translates ageless flames, fires. It's more like invocation or connection to this direct presence of the flame in us. Atrim anu svarajiyam agnim ukthani vavreduh vishva adhi shriyodadhe. Our words have made the fire to grow, made the traveler to grow in the way of self-empire. He holds in himself all glory and beauty. Our words have made the fire grow. When we speak about Ukthani, yes, Bhavradhu made him grow. Uktha, interesting vak from root vach, is something which we like the word, but the word is not just the word for the rishi. It is the power of self-expression. The word, the speech, is the self-expression of deeper, higher consciousness in us. So these expressions of consciousness made him grow. The eater, the consumer. Our words increased. Agni, the eater, Atrim, who consumes all in accordance with his self-power, Svarajyam, Anusvarajyam, following his own self-empire, or power in this case. Raj, root of interesting, Rajate, means to rule and means to shine and to rule. When we shine, we rule. Vishwa Adhi Shriyo Dadhe, and all the glories that he holds in himself, he establishes them upon us. I'm adding here, he holds in himself all glory and beauty. Why I add upon us, Vishvashriyach, all the Shris, all the glories, Adhi, above, Dadhe, he establishes, and this is Dadhe is the middle voice, means he establishes within himself, or holds within himself all the glories. And that simple Adhi adds this upon. And upon whom? It's only us, yes? Because our words. So it's kind of following logically, yeah? Our words made him grow. And all the glories he holds within himself, he holds them upon us, or over our being, yeah? So to say. And then number 6, the last one, Anushtup, and we will stop and discuss. Agnirindrasya somasya devanam utibhihvayam arishyantah sachemahi abhishyama pritanyatah. We have another statement similar, abhishyama pritsutir martiyanam, from another hymn. And here abhishyama pritanyatah, very close to the same meaning. May we cleave to the safeguardings of the fire and Soma and Indra and of the gods, meeting with no hurt, overcome those who are embattled against us. Meeting with no hurt, overcome those that are embattled against us. My interpretation is, may we be accompanied, Sachemahi, by the growth and protection of all the gods, Devanam, and of Agni, Agneh, and of Indra, Indrasya, and of Soma, Somasya. And unhurt we overcome all the attackers against us. Pritanyat, the one who oppresses, who abhishyama, literally, may we overtake those oppressors. In the other statement, abhishyama mritsutir martiyanam, may we withstand, also good word, withstand the oppression of mortals. Yeah. So this is the hymn. You see, there is not much to philosophize. It's more direct action of the invocation. And so if you have some thoughts, ideas, questions, please share. Usually this is our format. We read through the passage and then we discuss, yes? What we understood, or we want to share something, add to it from another dimension or thinking. It is always useful to do. It's a study group. I'm here a presenter of the hymn. And then we, as we did in IPI, Keka remembers, we discussed a lot always. I'm saying all these additional words because Keka and Devashish are here, so I'm speaking to them mainly, trying to explain what we are doing here.
I mean, I have one thought during this is that, for example, in the first hymn, when it says, just one, it's now gone. Anyway, so where it says that given to him, when we are given to him or who is given to him. So this given, this thing, is there any way to interpret this as something which is being given all the time, meaning not given as something which is done, but it's all the time, like it's a constant process?
Yeah. When it is totally done, then it is the dashuch. When it is dashuch, dashuche, you remember in the first hymn, there's dashuch is used, yes? The one who gives oneself, gives again and again, bit by bit, not fully. The dashuch is the one who gave himself fully. There is nothing left. By the way, today or something, I read the beautiful passage from Sri Aurobindo on the same story, yes, and maybe I will project which will answer to this question best. It's really beautiful, so it's lovely to share. This is the passage. To the soul that wholly gives itself to him, this is the dashuch, God also gives himself altogether. So there is no more reservation. Only the one who offers his whole nature finds the self. So the nature, all our nature, that means vital, mental, and physical being, has to be totally given, then we will realize the self. But, and then one more step. Only the one who can give everything, not only one's nature, but all other things around him, enjoys the divine all everywhere. So there are three givings. One is giving of the self, other is of one's nature, and then of everything else which comes to you. This is such a one sentence or two sentences, and it's done. The whole yoga is in one sentence. Let me stop projection. This is the dashuch. Well, this is the one. Dashuch is the one who gives oneself. Today I do this surrender, then tomorrow I do another surrender. Whatever I can give now. But the one who gave himself, who has given himself, who has himself given already.
Vladimir, I had a question. In
Yes.
the first stanza, where you said the chariot, explaining the chariot there, you said the chariot carries us over the spaces not transformed.
Right. Why do we have this image of the chariot? Yes, and we are using it often. Gods are traveling in the chariots. The Varuna, Mitra, Yaman, Bhaga, they come in chariots, Savitar. What does it really mean, chariot? Yeah. First of all, it's speed, there are horses there, and there's something, and many gods come in the chariot also, together in one chariot. So they're sitting in the chariot. Why in the chariot? Because they have to reach to us through the spaces which are not transformed or which are not yet our home. We are here on this side. We are involved in the darkness. So they have to come to us crossing some space with some speed and some location. It's like they carry their home or their environment through the kind of unregenerated, darkened space. And I think that is the meaning of the chariot. It carries you where you are at home, though you are not at home outside. Yeah?
Does that imply that these spaces can be transformed?
Eventually.
And if so, how?
Yeah, eventually, finally, in the final realization, yes. But for now, there are many spaces which will stay what they are. And the transformation of our being, as I understand, Devashish may add something since Devashish is here. So there's the growth of the inner being in separate environment is our task. Yes, that's how we evolve. So those separations are needed. Those other spaces in between us are needed to hold us kind of in our individual framework. And once we are fully evolved and developed, so to say, and our psychic is in front and embraces the whole universe, so to say, grows and embraces the whole universe, then most probably there will be, from our point of view, subjective, no more separation. But separation will stay for other beings. It's a mysterious process.
Yes,
You're
I get
asking.
the idea. I get the idea. Thank you. I get the idea.
So, Vladimir, could this also be different planes of consciousness which are not really as conscious as it's meant to be? There's some darkness, some shadow there in us?
Yeah. Yes, it is all in us. Yes, or we in it, as you wish. But this is the manner of speaking, rather. We are using mental language to speak about things which are far beyond mental understanding. But nevertheless, we should use symbols and try to articulate things and try to think about it. It's fine. Yeah. Devashish, would you like to get some of...
Oh. No, I was going to ask you to go a little deeper into the words of that first stanza. So as I'm looking at it, you explained the Vajayan. So
Yes.
the Vajas, which is sometimes Sri Aurobindo talks about Vajas as riches. And over here, as you say, this is the replenishment that is happening. So this first line is a little easier to understand. And then you have Yashas Tamasya Bil Husha. So can you explain that part a little bit? That Yashas is glorious.
Yes.
The glory of the Sri Aurobindo uses the term Godhead there. Tamasya, is he using the term tamasya?
Oh, no. It's a Tama is the highest.
The highest.
Yes.
The highest.
Uttama, yes.
Uttama, Tama. So that is the supreme, the glory of the supreme, so to say. Is it that? And
the most glorious. The most glorious. I see. And Mir Husha is. Can you explain that Mir Husha? Yeah, it's from root mich to actually to rain or to moisture. From here, we have meha, megha, megha. Yeah, megha as the cloud from the same root. Which drips the water. And the water is usually associated with the gifts of heaven, some kind of, the grace descending from heaven. So it's nourishing fire, actually, interestingly. The waters of heaven, the streams of heaven nourish the fire, which is kind of contradictory to the physical mind, yeah? But they don't care about that. They're still speaking about those. They even speak that the rain of heaven is conceiving the earth. It's like Dyauh is father and Earth, Prithvi is mother, and the conception is happening through Parjanya, the drops of water. And the drops of heaven, they fall, and within heaven, within those drops, there is a light. They speak about the shining light within the drops, which is carried from heaven. So the light is being transported with soma. Then there is idea of soma, the delight, and ambrosia, and everything else. So this mirdhu, yes, from root mich, mirdhushach is the genitive case of actually mirdhvans. It is the participle perfect of the one who bestows upon us the gifts or the consciousness of heaven. And that's why the most lavish, or I say generous one. I can look into the dictionary to give you more if you want more epithets, because nothing comes to my mind.
No, that's very helpful. What you just said, it's very interesting. The root of the meal, which is the like the megha, the
like the mega.
In Tamil, there is a word medusha, meaning bountiful.
Bountiful, excellent. This is the right word. Yes, bountiful is the best, more than generous. It's a bountiful one who brings bounty, and yes. But Vajayan, interesting, since you mentioned it, there are many roots and words which are connected to this. Vajas is the plenitude, Pinto translates. It's a beautiful word, which is, he coined it for this reason, which embodies both the physicality, vitality, power, and consciousness. So it is plenitude of all things, fullness of all realization. And also from here we have this Ugra, for example, or we have Ojas, These are the synonyms from the same root, Ojas, the power in the body, or Ugra is fierce, terrible, also with this power. That's a embodied power and consciousness in the being. So they are kind of aspiring to get to that Vajas. Or not they, he, the one who as if aspiring to get to full realization. That's why I say to aspire to be realized or fulfilled. So, and what they are Vajayanti? They are Vajayanti Radhan. Yes, they're making the Radhas of Agni move forward faster and faster. So his swiftnesses, or he's transporting power and consciousness presence of Radhan are being speeded up, as if speeding up his movement of chariots. Yes, you have to hold and establish within yourself the yokings to the horses of his chariots. If we unfold the whole vision, it is of that kind. By speeding up, you hold stronger in yourself the control, not to be connected to Agni and his movement, because he is the most glorious and the most bountiful. So in the mind of the Rishi, most probably these words are playing immediately, those associations, When they speak, this is what they feel, most probably. Yeah.
Vladimir, in this verse, the second one, any thoughts why this imagery of wearing down the enemy with Jarayu? I mean,
very nice. I like it, wearing down the enemy. Wearing down means burning down, kind of making it more and more food for the growth of consciousness. Everything in us which is not to be endured, which has no future, which plays the role of only instrumental role for our growth, helps us to grow. Offerings which we make with our unregenerated being will be worn out. Why enemy? Enemy is a big word here. Enemy because it obstructs, it doesn't want the change in consciousness. And that's most probably why. Ari. Interesting word, Ari. I was kind of working on it before. It's not very clear word. Ari can be friend and Ari can be enemy. Both. I know this is a bit. It's like many things in Vedic Sanskrit can be both. Like U root is to unite and U root is to divide. It's like you look at the action from a different. Ari is from root rimos, probably, to be active. And richati, from here we have ritam, ritu, all these beautiful words, the dynamic truth and so on. And even rishi, from rish, to move forward, always progress, move forward, drill through, break through the obstacles. In other words, to have one's own, how to put it, to have one's own conviction, to be relying on oneself, not to be relying on other forces to help you. To be an active agent which can progress and grow. It's like a soul or something. So it can be your enemy because it is a real enemy. You cannot bribe or you cannot scare. It will stand on its own against you. Or it can be your true friend. Because he has conviction, so you can rely on him. So this is Ari. In whatever position you look at it, it's an active man. Or there is another possibility of translating it. In the classical Sanskrit, they will translate it in this way: the one who does not give. Ari. Who does not sacrifice. And the one who does not sacrifice is to be sacrificed. So we have many elements in us which do not want to be sacrificed, which already established their own self-existence. This unregenerated, half-conscious being doesn't want to give its unconscious elements away. It relies on them, uses them. So this is the Ari, which he is wearing out. He's wearing out our unconscious elements in us. In our selves. And there are many of them. Make sense? I was trying to really go around.
Yes, it makes sense. Thank you.
It's actually a very inspirational way of thinking about things, going to the very, embryonic, to the very core of the meaning, why it is so. Asking question to every word is always good. But he cannot be worn out. He is not to be worn out because he is the divine in us. Yes, it is something which is immortal. So everything which gets old and dies is actually meant to be so. It is not meant to stay, which brings me to this idea of the discussion of love and death in Savitri, where the Lord of Death is actually surprised that Savitri wants immortality. He doesn't believe, he doesn't even know that it should be done. His task is not to allow anything which is temporarily to reach to the divine. So he's filtering out actually everything which is to to be worn out. He's wearing out that's his divine purpose, yeah? The death. Death does this. It is not allowing something imperfect to reach perfection in that form. It has to be transformed. It's this kind of brushing away all the things which should not endure, which have no future. Yeah? And it's a very noble task, actually. Until he starts resisting the very change, yes? But then Savitri will come in, and the mother, she will deal with him. All right, some other thoughts? Ideas? This is a short hymn. Actually, it's not so bright as other hymns. It looks like very ordinary to us, but we have much more sophisticated hymns, philosophical, the first one, the second one. And there are only 10 hymns translated by Sri Aurobindo in Book 2, Mandala 2. So we will move soon into Mandala 3, and there you will see different diction of Vishwamitra. It's interesting, you will start noticing that each rishi has its own style and its own manner in which he speaks. Vishwamitra is very direct, a little like Kshatriya. So it's very interesting to read his hymns.
Vladimir, I had a question. In verse 4, what are the diverse lusters?
Diverse lusters, yes. This is vibhati. You see, Sri Aurobindo has to highlight this V prefix. Bhati shines, yeah? But vibhati shines in all directions. Yeah? And so to say it, he puts this diverse. to highlight that prefix. He does it always. And many translators from Sanskrit, they object. Where did he find this? There is no word diverse or something. You know? But they don't go into meaning. They are very formally translating words from the dictionary. But he does it always. He can give the whole sentence for one prefix, like pra, moving forward, yeah? Or V, moving in all different directions, diverse lusters. So these prefixes which you see, a, V, they are important, yes? A is onto, towards, yeah? Ayah Suvarna Bhanuna, and who is towards the Svar, as if towards the Svar with his appearance, Chitrach, the conscious, full of light of consciousness, Vibhati, expands his light, Archisha, by his ray, Anjana, clarifying the consciousness or vision, Ajaraich, Abhi, with his undying or ageless fires. So beautiful. When you have this image, when you see it, it creates a kind of a poise of consciousness which you want to hold on to, yeah? Because it generates the state of being which, yes, which is already transforming us slowly in our vision. It has this transformative, poetic power. I put here also Yelizarenkova for Russians. Some Russians are joining our party. So for them it would be interesting to kind of compare immediately another language. Unfortunately, Yelizarenkova and other Western scholars are taking the Vedic verses very down to earth, yes, as if it is a barbaric culture, and they are sacrificing things to a flame to gain certain, privileges from the gods as powers of nature and so on. Very basic translation. But sometimes it helps to understand grammar, to understand the intention. So they did a big work, so I always consult them. And Sayana, of course, you can consult. He will give you some ideas of the words, how they were used in Brahmanas and so on. Yeah. Okay.
So in the verse 5, when we say words, is it the japa, mantra, or we do archana, or it's just the silent meditation? Or
Uktani, yes, this. Ukta. Ukta is it's from root vach. From here, vak, speech. Yeah. Vang me manasi pratishtita. We started with this Rigvedic Shantipatha. My speech is established in my mind, and my mind is established in my speech, yes. Be revealed to me, O mind, be revealed to me, O speech. You are two foundations of the Veda. Yeah? Interesting, a kind of Shantipatha. There are no gods there, nothing, only psychological, absolutely psychological. Yeah? Mind and speech are established in one another, and they are two foundations of knowledge. So this is Uktani. Uktani are the verses, the words, the luminous words, the self-expressing powers of our consciousness. The word is that. The word is not just articulating some words from the language. It is an expression of some intention of the heart. It is believed that the word is rising from the depth of the heart, and as Sri Aurobindo says, Brihaspati or Brahmanaspati is in the heart. It's kind of interesting because it corresponds to Gapsar very well. Yes, the word is rising from the heart. I always remember this because only in the Veda you have it. Later it is not so. But in the Veda, yes. And Sri Aurobindo says there is Vishnu above the head with Indra as a lightning coming through, bringing the intuition into our lower hemisphere. And Rudra is holding on his shoulders, and Agni is rising, breaking through from below. And this Indra and Agni are to meet, but for them to meet and to make sacrifice possible, the word is needed. The intention formulated from the heart of Brihaspati. And that intention takes Agni as aspiration in nature towards the divinity and formulates it in a specific way to reach to heaven. And then with this new push or intention of the word, that flame changes its quality and can reach to heaven, and then Indra can answer. And when they join Indragni, then sacrifice is done. The transformation is effectuated. This is the idea. Yeah? So the word plays a very central role.
I wish I could remember all that.
Remember? No, you just try to understand it.
and do it. Yeah, no, that was beautiful.
Yeah, this is Sri Aurobindo's explanation, by the way, of Vishnu and Rudra and Brihaspati. And he says that later in this trinity is still there, in Puranas and Tantras. Still there, but it plays already differently. It's not the same anymore. And interestingly, he says that you don't be misled by that there are not many hymns to Rudra. There are only few hymns to Rudra. There are few to Brihaspati. Only few, less than dozen. 5 or 6 to Brihaspati, 3 to Rudra. Very, very limited. and few to Vishnu separately. Yes, with other deities there are more. And he says, don't be misled, because Vishnu is represented by Indra in his action, yeah, and there is the biggest number of hymns to Indra, 250 something or 60 even, and Agni represents Rudra, his son, in action, and it is second deity to whom the biggest number of hymns is dedicated. So Vishnu and Rudra are represented in their action in the Veda. And Brihaspati and Brahmanaspati, he has rishis and he has maruts. We studied maruts also separately. They are interesting. They are militant Brahmins who are fighters, the carriers of the word. Very rare combination. Brahmins with spears. Yeah. So Uktha is that central rising from the depth of the heart. And there are two of them. There is Brahman. Brahman is the hymn or the word rising from the depth of the heart. From here, Brahmanaspati, Brahaspati, from root brih, to grow. Yeah. And there is another mantra. And mantra is interesting. It is framing the mind mostly, making, how to say, pulling out the mental idea. The word is actually a parent of the idea, Sri Aurobindo says. You know? The word will pull out and allow the mind to clarify the concept. The mind could not hold on to the concept without the word. Word is the help. Word is the power. So in a way, mantra is that, and Brahman is that power rising from the heart, that intention or aspiration of the heart, which is the word. So since you asked about Uktha, so maybe Devashish has some ideas about the word.
No, not really, Vladimir. I'm listening. I don't have anything extra to say. I'm looking at that, the verses, they're so rich, and there's these words, each one of them evokes so much.
Right. Yes, especially when... Yeah, go ahead.
I'm wondering what is Sri Aurobindo referring to as the traveler there? Is it the same one is it Atri, which you've translated as eater? Is that what he's calling the traveler?
Who made fire to grow, made the traveler to grow. Yeah. Yes, it is him. Yes. In the way of self-empire, the traveler. I just left the first obvious Atri as a eater.
Yes, is the eater, right.
I will always deviate from Sri Aurobindo's for the sake of having another kind of layer. Yeah? So to make it more,
I understand. Yeah. And the part where he says he holds, is that Vishwa? Vishwa is to hold? Is that what it is?
Dadhe.
The Dadhe is to hold.
Yeah, Dadhati from Dharut, to hold Dhana. Yeah.
Right.
It's a perfect Dadhe, or it could be medial voice of the, perfect medial voice. So he holds within himself, or establishes himself as. Yes. So middle voice. Middle voice is...
No, go ahead. The middle voice you were saying?
Middle voice in the Veda has a very specific usage. It is used also as a passive voice, not only as a middle voice, but also as a passive. So, kind of in the sense that the best way, that's why I put this in himself, he establishes. I want to cover both,
Right,
So
right.
he holds in himself and he establishes them upon us. So kind of wanted to cover the complexity of this simple word dade. You see, the whole sentence is there.
Yes, yes.
But it has to do something with us, because for himself, he's not invoked to be within himself. Yes, he's invoked to act upon us. So it's quite obvious. And our words are making him grow. Our expressions, our deeper expressions, uktas, from the heart, make him grow. It's his major food for him. It's interesting. This is most probably that what I was referring to, what Sri Aurobindo was saying, that the Brahmanaspati is the one who makes the flame grow to heaven. Yeah? Once the intention is clarified for the flame, where to grow, what to do, because it is the universal flame. It wants the divine in all possible ways. But to direct it to particular action in particular context, the word is needed. Then it makes it specific and it is becoming more efficient. And then Indra can answer, or Vishnu can answer. Vishnu comes to Rudra through Indra, yeah? To Agni. It was interesting, there is a serial going on Shiva, and somebody approached Shiva there. It was Parvati, and asked him, "What are you meditating upon?" And he says, "I meditate upon Vishnu." So Vishnu and Shiva, they want to meet, but there is a gap in between the whole cosmos, the whole creation, and so to join their party, and that is the sacrifice. The transformation of this world is done by them both. And if you look at them, these are the representatives of the divine, basically. We just name them as Shiva or Rudra and Vishnu. Interestingly, words, Rudra, yes? Sri Aurobindo says, ruddy one, ruddy, not crying, but more like luminous, with the golden red, as Mother describes him. And Vishnu is from root V, interesting root, the same V prefix, is the one who holds two in one. U is duality and E is oneness. He holds heaven and earth, as it were. And in Taittiriya Aranyaka it is described that Vishnu is the Vishnu. Shnu is a Snu suffix, like Jishnu, the conqueror, from G root. Vishnu is the one who holds in oneness, or the duality is held as one, or the particularities are held as one. And it fits very well for the overmental and even supramental deity, holding all the varieties as one. So the names of the deities are always expressing something, some particular function.
So Vladimir, this we got something that diverse this thing, right? Somewhere, one of the hymns, and that we prefix you said to do with it. So I was wondering this Vishnu that we, which if it is at all related to that.
It is absolutely related, and you can see that V has everywhere the same as U. Interesting, it's just opposite. U is to unite and divide, and V is also to divide and hold two in one. It depends on how you look at it. From what angle you are looking at this action. Or you see two held in one, or you see one split in two. So V has the meaning of separation, or making all the details held in one. So, and in Taittiriya Aranyaka it is described that it is by the force of Vayu Vishnu split and holds heaven and earth as one. But it is already Aranyaka, it's a later Brahmanic literature, but still there's this function of Vishnu. Description of his etymology is quite interesting. All right, we can stop here. We're already 7 minutes over. I will close with the mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. I'm so glad to see you here. Familiar faces, so lovely to see you. Bye.